As working from home, it's slowly but surely becoming a thing of the past, with many companies beginning to have their employees return to work. And with the return to the office, those who relocated to cheaper areas are now dealing with the high price of living near a major city. So what areas are people finding the most bang for their buck? Joining us now is Bankrate Analyst Sarah Foster. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Well, thank you for talking to us. I think it is no secret that the tri-state area, very expensive place to live. So what did your survey find when it comes to living in the New York and New Jersey metro area?
You're right. So those New Yorkers who feel like they're spending so much of their paychecks just on expenses, barely enough to kind of put for the future, there's a lot of truth to that. I think something that is often important is we're always quick to look at how much in taxes are deducted from our pay, but we don't necessarily know how much cost of living is, taking away from our paychecks. But in the New York metro area, it's about an 11% bite. So your paycheck 11% lower for the average worker.
And you looked into the areas where wages are stretched the most, plus where you had the most buying power. So what did you find when it came to those areas?
Yeah, so when we looked at what the cities and the metro areas where Americans' paychecks go furthest, we saw that San Antonio was actually at the top of the list. Americans' paychecks there are actually worth 7% more because of the low cost of living. Only 4 metro areas out of the 25 that we looked at actually boasted, a growing purchasing power. St. Louis, Detroit, Charlotte were also up there. I think, discovering what makes a city high cost versus low cost can be a little bit like playing a game of chicken or the egg. You don't know if it's because workers are just paid more there or if it's because their cost of living is higher. But I think the pandemic gave us a really good case study into that. Cost of living and inflation are kind of different, but two sides of the same coin. And of course, they all go back to supply and then demand.
And that is some statistics. You found that younger Americans are the ones more willing to relocate. 39% of Gen Z workers and 28% of millennial workers said they would likely relocate for a job, while only 13% of Gen Xers and 6% of baby boomers in the workforce would likely relocate. So why are we seeing younger Americans moving more?
It's interesting because I think a lot of, the discourse about remote work is that younger workers really want to hang on to that. But I think a lot of it goes more to just personal reasons than economic ones. Younger generations are a lot more mobile than older generations. They're just getting their lives started. Many of them haven't really planted down roots yet. It's a lot easier to relocate when it's just you and not, a family of 4. There's also, a lot of high cost of living does tend to disproportionately impact those younger generations because we don't quite yet see them hit their peak earnings years until they're in their 30s. So if you can kind of find somewhere that kind of has all, the unique opportunities that only happen in a city, while also finding a place that is a little bit more manageable for its cost of living, younger people might be feeling like they can just get a little bit of a best of both worlds.
Well, Sarah Foster, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.